Hello, welcome to William Mount4, the police channel. What are you going to do when the dollar begins to unwind? Your police department has a plan. They have some stored food. They have some stored water. What about your wife and kids? Oh, you may be divorced, but you still care about your kids. They're your kids, right? That is, if the wife hasn't made him disown you after a divorce. Because remember, we follow Satan's law. The man does not get the kids. The woman does. That's because it's in the Satanic Bible. You will not have access to your kids because Satan rules your department. They even have the human rituals once a month where they conduct activities on little children. You know this, you just choose to avoid it. Most large police departments, Tacoma, Seattle, they have that. Tacoma gave the owners of the city $2 billion of city money. That's why we can't get our roads fixed. Seattle gave the owners of the city of Seattle $7 billion, which is why you can't have your roads fixed. Is it illegal? Oh yeah, very illegal. But they did it. So now all of this illegality is coming to an end. The Feds to allow emergency bank lending program to expire March 11th. So what happened was, after Silicon Valley Bank withdrew $2 billion in narco money because they knew the bank was going to fall apart, they then decided to collapse. And all foreign investors were paid thanks to the wonderful Bank Term Funding Program. The Bank Term Funding Program was started to pay non-Americans American money for their bank account. So the Bank Term Funding Program paid non-Americans. Well, now the Bank Term Funding Program, which is to lend money to the banks for emergency cash reserves, is ending. But they're going to have another Bank Term Funding Program. They do about $1 trillion a night, and this new Bank Term Funding Program will be equal to they're going to be backed by the federal government to the tune of $25 billion. So the Exchange Stabilization Fund, controlled by the president, Zig Heil, will then backstop the Bank Term Funding Program for approximately 40 minutes. And then it comes to a standstill. Now, this is D-Day for the dollar. As you remember, June 6, 1944, the Americans landed on the French shores, and it took another year to conquer Germany. The Germans fought for another year. So what we've got a program that has begun the fall of the dollar. We've got April and May, and things will start to fall apart. Now, what are you going to do for your family when the dollar starts to disintegrate? We've already got hyperinflation. Food is 40 times higher than it was when I was a kid. Last year it was 20 times higher. So food prices have doubled. So what you gonna do now? What you gonna do now that all the cash is printed in China? 40% of all cash out right now is been printed in the last 2 years in China. So what are you going to do when the banks start to fail and you have no place to cash your paycheck? That's when everything unwinds. Unless Trump takes office early, and if you're a cop, you're going to try to force that so your family can eat. But do you have a plan, cops, for your family? Do you have food, water? You're going to need at least a gallon a day per person for at least 3 months. You have a family of 4. That's 120 gallons for at least 3 months. So do you have 400 gallons stocked up in 50-gallon barrels? Probably not. Anyway, so the question is, what you gonna do? It's a good question. It's a viable question. What you gonna do for your families? Are you gonna defend the libtards which are destroying America or not? Are you gonna stand there and defend the Biden administration so they can move transgendered and have transgendered dances in the middle of your police force using your money? Then you have to feed them, you have to water them in an emergency? Or are you going to tell these Biden officials to get bent and take a leave? Now, I'm not in favor or against anybody who wants to dress however they want to dress, but not in your face. I've got gay friends, but not in my face. Do it behind closed doors. Anyway, so what are you going to do when there's no money and you have a family? You think maybe you need an emergency plan? Well, let me tell you, cops, you're going to need food. This includes the fire department. You don't have 6 months of food stored up in the fire department. Food, water, toilet paper, ammunition. Yeah, you'll need extra ammo. Heat, communications, gold and silver, and medicines. Now, we're talking about gold and silver this week, but you do what you want to do. You're going to need all that. Food, water, toilet paper, ammunition, heat, communications with other police cars, and, of course, the fire department and the ambulances. You're going to need gold and silver, and you're going to need medicines. Now, you don't have that stocked up, do you? And you're also going to need certain houses to go to within your town that you could hide in, because when poop hits the fan, you're going to need certain outstations. We've approached the city of Tacoma with this comment, and they've said, we don't need no sticking outstations. Yeah, they have the highest crime rate in the entire world right now, right here in Tacoma. Per capita, we have the highest murder rate, the highest shooting rate, the highest burglary rate, the highest rape rate, the highest mugging rate, right here in my hometown. Aren't I proud to live here? The FBI appointed all those affirmative action employees and told them what to say and what to do to drive the crime through the roof, just like Hitler did in 1933 when he took over. Anyway, so what are you going to do? What's your family going to do? Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. I asked the police the tough questions. What you going to do? And then you come up with the solutions. We'll see you tomorrow.